When I walked into the courtroom today, I fully expected a long, drawn-out legal battle with attorneys for Arizona's Republican Party fighting to keep certain ballots and certain votes from being counted. Instead, the Republicans went the other way, asking that more early ballots be counted and verified. This afternoon, a Maricopa County judge approved a settlement that will allow recorders in all 15 Arizona counties to keep counting early ballots until next Wednesday, November 14th at 5 p.m. Republicans had complained that counties across the state all count their questionable early ballots differently, and that's unfair to some voters. The argument has been that Maricopa County and Pinal County will go to greater lengths to reach early ballot voters, either by phone or email, if there's a question with the signature on their ballot. And some rural counties won't go and won't do as much and won't make as much of an effort to confirm a ballot, and that vote may not count. But now with today's settlement, every effort will be made to count every vote, and that seems to be a win-win on both sides.
These counties that were not going to count Republican votes in the rural areas, they got caught with their pants down. And we got a chance to show up in court today and tell the judge what was going on, and they conceded. They gave us everything we were asking for.
The bottom line is it's fine with us. Everybody who tried to vote and made a good faith effort to vote, their vote ought to be counted. That's what we want. And then whoever wins, wins. It's not that complicated.
Now, the settlement only impacts this election, so the same problems may pop up in the future. Attorneys on both sides said it will likely be up to the state legislature to make uniform rules that all counties follow in future elections. Now, clearly, this lawsuit was directly based on the close race for U.S. Senate between Martha McSally and Kyrsten Sinema. Democrats accuse Republicans of changing their position simply based on where Martha McSally stands in the latest vote tallies. Reporting in downtown Phoenix, Jason Berry for Arizona's Family.
Oh, and you got some new numbers in.
Seconds ago. I know, just seconds ago. Obviously, we've all been waiting for to see how these batch of ballots was going to affect that U.S. Senate race. Of course, we saw last night Kyrsten Sinema flip that race in dramatic fashion, going from 17,000 votes down to more than 9,000 votes up over her opponent, Martha McSally, again last night. But here is the latest, the Senate race update. Kyrsten Sinema has now expanded that lead from just over 9,000 to 21,000. Again, some pretty big numbers right here. And I want to move on now to the next race here and talk a little bit about the Superintendent of Public Instruction. Again, you know, Kathy Hoffman here, the Democrat, facing off against Frank Riggs. And Kathy Hoffman, she had flipped that race last night too. She was leading by about 20,000 votes as of last night. And currently, right now, she is leading Frank Riggs by 32,000 votes. And then again, we're going to talk about one more race here statewide with big implications here. Secretary of State. Remember, Katie Hobbs, the Associated Press, they called this race on election night because she was down by over 40,000. Well, now she has cut that lead down to just 9,500 votes after this latest dump of ballots right now. So that race is getting awfully close here. So a lot more counting, a lot more ballots left to be counted, a lot more action we expect over the next few days in this race and several of these statewide races with big implication.
It's hard sometimes to adjust.
Gene Krigo knows about the challenges veterans face.
When they go to war and they come back, they're totally different.
Krigo faced his own difficulties after coming back from Vietnam.
I got out and I was looking for work, couldn't find it, so I went back in the Marine Corps to make a career out of it.
Krigo's life turned out okay, but for some of his fellow warriors,
there's a lot of them especially that have gotten in trouble with the law and they don't have a driver's license or they don't have any transportation.
Especially tough for those veterans who live in rural Arizona.
One of the biggest barriers to homeless veterans seeking and getting the resources that they needed was transportation.
But now,
this van couldn't have come at a better time.
A repurposed 22-seat shuttle bus donated by the Arizona Lottery will be running veterans from northern Arizona and Mojave County down to the Phoenix VA hospital.
To make a difference for those veterans who have served all of us.
And for veterans like Krigo,
it's moving.
Giving a lift to those who sacrificed so much. In Phoenix, Max Gordon, Arizona's Family.
Take a look at the current map. Right now, Arizona is in the green, which means minimal flu activity. When we take a look at the exact same time in 2017, again, in the green, very minimal activity. It wasn't until the second weekend of December last year that we saw a huge spike and Arizona was in the red. And those high number of flu cases lasted all the way through the 1st of March.
We all know the signs and symptoms of the flu.
Fever, cough, sore throat, extreme tiredness.
And we all panic as soon as we think we have the flu.
I don't think you should panic when you have those symptoms.
Right now, Arizona has seen 173 reported cases of the flu since September 30th. And this week alone, 40 cases reported.
Look at the 5-year average. It's more than what we normally see for this time of season. If we look compared to last year, it's a little bit less.
Influenza A was the predominant strain last year in Arizona. As for this year, it's hard to tell, and forecasting an outlook isn't easy.
The most predictable thing about the flu season is that it's unpredictable. So there's many things that factor into how severe the flu season is going to be.
But prevention is easy.
You want to make sure that you get your flu shot, you want to wash your hands, you want to cover your cough, and you want to stay home from work or school.
Ashley DiMartino for Arizona's Family.